Go ahead.
Miss Jeffrey, um, as we are, as you told us before, when I was sitting here in our meeting, I guess my, I don't want to say issue, but the problem that I'm having is that my inner city kids, so to say, they just the vocabulary words are just too concrete for them. You know, like I don't want to say the wealthy kids, but the middle class kids. It's like they look down on the kids, and so it's just kind of hard when they say, they're using vocabulary, the vocabulary they're not familiar with, because the other students they're just using a lot of slang. That Joan man, so I'm trying to incorporate the vocabulary that we have from our SAT word list that you gave me into my daily lesson, but they're just not getting it.
Okay, all right. So what I hear you saying is that you believe that there's a discrepancy and an achievement gap between the socioeconomic status of our students here. Well, what I like to do is let's focus on our data and on our last test results. And I see that there are four areas that our students have scored low in. So it looks like they have difficulty making inferences and things of that sort.
Absolutely.
So let's look at indicator 1-1.1, okay? Because I understand that you're concerned about their level of vocabulary. Can you tell me a little bit about what you've been doing to build the vocabulary? Have you tried scaffolding? And what other strategies have you put in place to help build the vocabulary?
Well, I use different reading strategies,
okay,
so they can incorporate it, and also I've used strategies that can with real life scenarios.
Okay.
Some of the vocabulary words, and then I always tell them they have to use the vocabulary words 3 times, during my class period, just so that they can become familiar with the words.
Okay.
So each student they have to utilize that word in a sentence, just in general. So, we also do different writing strategies, and they have to use the vocabulary words over and over again. So it's not just like they're sitting there writing the words down, writing the definition, and then that's it. We can do that over and over again, but I want them to incorporate it into their daily lesson and their daily learning and their daily lives.
Okay, that sounds good, because it sounds like what you're doing is you're already using pre-reading strategies. You're using appropriate for the text and purpose for reading type strategies, and you're helping them to pull in their prior knowledge.
Right.
Okay, so when we're looking at the data that's here in front of us, it does show that on one of the standards, the students are having difficulty with their reading.
Right.
Okay.
And I would say that goes more so towards the pre-reading strategies, because they see the words, and I'm talking about the lower class, the poor class. I hate to use the word poor, but the lower class.
Our struggling students.
Thank you.
Okay.
Our struggling students, and when they see the words, they just start to cringe, and I'm just like, okay, it's okay, it's just a word.
Okay.
But some of them, I'm like, I don't know how you say this word, so I have them repeat the word 3 times, and as a whole in the class. And then my other kids who are familiar with the word, they're sitting there bored, like, come on, you don't know what the word mediocre means.
Okay. Have you considered using a data wall where you can take your students for your viewing and set them up where you can look at your basic, your proficient, and your advanced?
Okay.
And what you can do for some of the strategies to help them to move the student achievement and to close the achievement gap with our students is you can list out what areas they're struggling with. You can use your the strategies that you need to put in place. You can look at the students that are falling below, and if there's a student that's advanced already in that skill already, perhaps you can pair them. Have you tried or considered those type of things before?
No, I haven't, but I definitely will do so. So I will make sure I utilize the data wall, and I know you all said that in the beginning of the school year. I guess that's my fault for not utilizing that, but I definitely will take that into consideration.
Well, I noticed you had some pre-test information and post-test information. Can you tell me, have you seen any of the achievement